Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach and I'm doing more on this partially applied stuff. I wrote some tests this afternoon and I think I have things with the receiver working as expected. And I've also did some tests to make sure that the diagnostics show up as expected. So now I think I'm in a spot where I can actually start building code. And this is basically the point right here. So the thing I got to keep in mind is that there's this pattern that I have to follow. And that is, we declare this, then we have to declare only these delegates for distinct methods. And I basically have to create like a match like I did in rocks to compare two iMethod symbols and say, if I already have one that does have to also include the return type, the name doesn't matter. So it's not like we're looking for overloads of methods. We're just looking to see, do the same number of arguments, the same types, and also, yeah, I do mean same types. I think I can do this where if you have a person as one parameter for your target method, and then another one has a customer as the first argument, you'll still create two. Okay. But I only do this for distinct methods. So I'm going to only generate those delegates. Okay. And then I have to create all of the apply delegates, which should be for all of them, because each case is a different case. Okay. Though I'm not quite sure about that. It could be possible to, I'm thinking it might be possible to end up having a case where you might have multiply and add in two different spots, and the methods would be the same and the apply would be the same. So we have to say if the method and the apply is the same, then we create apply delegates for those. I think I wrote that down somewhere, like what I call these. Yeah, right here. For distinct method plus count. And then the same thing here. So as we're going through this in the information, it's late at night. I wanted to do one more episode tonight just to see if I can make any more progress. But I may have said this before, but I found out that the older I get, I'm more of an early riser rather than a late night owl. And that's just the way I am. I tend to lose steam as it gets past 9 o'clock. I hate to say that because I used to remember in high school and college days, that's when things started, and I'd easily stay up till like 12 or 1. I rarely, if ever, do that anymore. I can't. I'd much rather get up at, on vacation, I've been getting up at 7 or 7:30, and for me, that's sleeping in. I usually when I'm working, I get up at like 5:30 or 6. I just feel like it's a good way to, where the house is quiet and everything is quiet, to get in and get some stuff done and have coffee, and I feel more productive that way. So in any event, I may not be thinking quite sanely, but I think this is what I need to do. Okay. And so I have to get lists for both all the unique methods and then lists for the combination of unique methods plus the count, which is this thing that I'm having called result here. Okay. So that's if you find a method symbol and then how many partial arguments. So if you have a method that takes 3 parameters and you said, I'm going to partially apply 2 of them, then you know that you have to have the method that takes 2 and then the other one has to take the other whatever. And so that's the number that means. Okay. And I guess I could put a comment here to say that's what the partial argument count means. My brain is screaming at me right now, do that, Jason, because you're going to do it wrong and you're going to forget what that actually means. But I know it means partially apply these arguments. Anyway, okay, so this is where I actually got to the point where I'm like, okay, I do have things to work on. And actually what I should say here is if information diagnostics any service error, then I want to actually create the code. Only if there are enough, you have anything, like you have any results. If it's quite possible that everything was bound for partially applied calls and there's no problem, there's no issues. So that's perfectly fine. So we only want to do any generation if we actually found something. And information results length is greater than 0. Okay. Then we actually want to do something. So this is where we want to have the builder. Okay. So we're going to say here, public CL class, partially applied builder. And we are going to take a partially applied information. Okay. That's that information. Okay. And then we want to say here this dot build. I want a private void build. And then eventually what comes out of this is the code itself. Okay. And I think I did this as a string. So we're going to want to have a public string code. Okay, so at some point when you call this, you're going to actually build code. Okay, now I'm going to steal from rocks in the builder here. We're going to have to care about usings. We're definitely going to have to care about usings. That's a given. And right now, I don't care. We are just going to use a tab because tab is the way that you should write code. Okay. Now, I'm going to put a to-do here. To-do, we eventually need to worry about usings. Okay. For now, I'm just going to use like string, int, GUID, just simple types that I know exist in the system. And yeah, and just, well, yeah, namespace extensions. Yeah, we're going to want this. Okay. Namespace symbol extensions. I feel bad copying and pasting code. This is probably being an indicator that what I need is a all right. And then I had this thing called the gatherer in here. Stop stomach. My God, it's like namespace gatherer. Where the heck was that? Was that in the builders? I think it was. Yes, it was. And this was just a way to get all of the namespaces that we want, except as a Okay. Why are you barking? Oh, yeah. Shut up. Oh my God. My stomach is just like... being just a complete growler. I don't know why. Now we're only going to want, for right now, I don't think we ever care about these. I don't think we ever care about these for now. If we need those later, we can put them in, but I don't think we care. So this gives us a way to gather all the namespaces, okay? So we're going to have var gatherer is equal to new namespace gatherer. And yeah, I just realized we don't actually, yeah, well, we don't want to assume system because maybe we don't need it. So this will be fine. Okay, so we're not going to worry about using this. We're going to handle it right now. So we want to put this in here. So now I want to say var target delegates. Excuse me. And I don't, my God, my stomach is just like growling like a monster. I don't know what the problem is. We want to get all the this dot information results. This, what was that in rocks? I had some comparer. That was on the event symbol comparer. But then where was I using that? It was default. Oh my God, does nobody use this anymore? That would be funny. That would be freaking hilarious. I'm almost, no. Wow, I didn't realize that that's not even being used anymore. That's quite interesting. I method symbol. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, so what I want to do is something like this. Distinct. Is that, yeah. Except they don't want to use a default. Yeah, I want to use an equality comparator. And this is where I think something like this came into play. What are you barking about? Oh, yeah, that's correct. We want to, except that's all going to break because we don't want to, so it's going to be a little bit more complicated than this, okay? And then we're going to say I method symbol equality comparator default, okay? Mutable array does not contain a definition of, well, I put a link up there. What the heck? Oh, I wonder if I have to say select target and then do a distinct on that. Okay. Okay. So here we want to say if I'm going to assume, even though I get that the equality comparer is n of t, you know what? No, we're going to say this has to be this. I don't know why I'm doing that. Okay, you must be giving me something like that, right? Yeah, I get that. All right, so if x dot parameters dot length does not equal y dot parameters dot length, then we return false. Okay. So if you don't have the same parameters, then, and actually what we could also say here probably is if x dot return type, because void would be the return type, equals y dot return type return false. If x, at some point we're going to say return true. Okay. And then if we don't have the right parameters, then we're going to say for var I is equal to 0, I less x over x I plus plus. Okay. So now I want to say if x dot parameters of I type equals, it does not equal y dot parameters dot I type, then we return false. Okay, so the return types have to be the same, the number of arguments have to be the same, and for all the arguments, all the types must be the same. If that's the case, then they're equal. So we want to, hopefully, I'm going to have to test this, but get that out of there. So this gives me all the target delegates. Okay. Now what I also want is a very similar way to say all the target methods plus a yeah, so this is kind of interesting. I'm also going to want another comparator here. I want to say var apply delegates, this that information results distinct. Except in this case, I want to do a partially. Now I'm wondering why am I doing this, Jason? Couldn't I? Yeah, because doesn't distinct just use the single sequence by using default equality comparator? So I think, why did I do this? Oh, that's right, because if you don't control the type, then you have to, you want to do like a custom equality comparator, but I can do on the results. We want to say I equatable of this, and we're going to have to go through the whole jazz of, can I just like generate equals in hash code, implement, yes, do all the things. So I'll have to look at what in the Sam. No, don't do that. God, you're stupid. Okay. So that would actually take care of here. This is this one that we have to, but the thing we want to do here is we actually want to pull into an extension here. I method symbol extensions. Okay, we want to have a public static class, public static bool are equal. So we want to have this I method symbol extensions self I method symbol other. Okay, and we want to pull this into that. Okay, because the reason why is we want to say x dot self dot in the current block. Okay, and then we want to say y dot is other dot. Okay, and then we come here and we can now easily say x dot r equal to y. That's a terrible word. Okay. R equals fine. Whatever. I don't care. Getting the hash code of an iMethod symbol should be hash code combined. No. Come on. Oh, you don't. Oh. You suck. Even if it did, it wouldn't have what I was looking for, which is I basically want to I want to have a tuple that has all of the things in here. I feel ugly doing that, but whatever. All right. So here we have that, we have that. Now in here, what I want to say is this is okay, except we're going to pull it up here. We're going to do that. Now we're going to pull this up here. We're going to do other is not null, and this, and come on, this dot target r equal other dot target. Come on. And then we override get hash code, which we're going to do like this. Except here we're going to say this dot target get hash code. No. This dot target, this dot partial get hash code. Okay. I would love to use hash code combined, but that's not in .NET Standard 2.0. And therefore we can't use it. Okay. There we go. Could have probably made that a record. No, I can't do a record because that's not .NET Standard 2.0. I could put the shim class in to do it, but that's not what I'm like. Okay, what is the problem here? You generated this. You tell me. What is the problem here? Equals wants it to be quality comparer. Why don't you just do... I don't understand what the problem is. Left me... Oh, and that's expecting that it is actually that. Okay. Didn't want this. I mean, I get it. It's a class, and so it thinks that it should say, hey, maybe these could be null. Maybe that's what you're passing in. But I don't ever see me creating the... I mean, I'm basically saying don't ever do this. Okay. You would have to pass these in as that. Okay. All right, so now what does that give us? That allows us to get distinct results for both target delegates and apply delegates. Okay. Now what we can do is say indent writer.write line. No, it's not code. Okay. Indent. Actually, I want to call this... No. I want to call this text writer. And this is just the writer, because then it'll be less pain on my wrists. Okay, line. No, not the inner writer. There. So I would have generated something. Okay. But what I really want to get is I want to be able to generate all of the delegates for the targets here. But to do that, I need to create some kind of identifier based on what's actually going to be put in that delegate signature, if that made sense. So in other words, I'm going to have something, a public delegate, the return type, the name, this, but the name needs to have like a hash code of the string that would represent all of this that I'm going to put in there eventually. Okay. And I don't really care what the value is. I just want it to be something. So we can call it like target delegate and target apply delegate. Because I think that's what I ended up calling those, or the argument delegate or the return delegate. Yeah, I'm at time. And quite honestly, this is late for me, and I don't think I can go any farther. I think I'm just going to keep making more mistakes. And I'm also getting to the point, though, where I'm feeling like I'm getting close. Okay. I feel like I could say, for each target delegate in target. These aren't actually target delegates. These are target methods. But they eventually will be turned into target delegates. I got target delegate, return type, name, plus string.join, comma, then all the, the target delegate parameters, select, type dot name plus. See, I can't, I'm losing it. And that would be something which we'd have to assign to var x equal to that. Okay. And then that would be the thing that we would say is the hash code of the stuff we want. But we would really want to say something like, public delegate int sum, and then have a 0 in there that we would actually call then string format instead of using an interpolated string, because then we can get the hash code of the whole string and then put that in there. But again, this is getting way beyond. I really want to keep going, but my brain is saying, just stop what you're doing. Though I can do this. I can say, at least to close it out so we get rid of that error. So like in the builders, I say rock create builder. And then I say at some point, yeah, I do say source text here. Source text is actually probably what we want this to be is source text. Okay. And what we're going to say here is source text is from code. Code is writer to string. Okay. So we want to do something like this. So at the end of all of this, we're going to say this.code is equal to source generate. Okay, text. What is code? That is writer to string. Because writer here is the string writer. No, we want the text writer in this case. There. So at least we got no exiting constructor. Oh, you can just, this is where I get really, really annoyed by the traceability of this. It's like, I get that they would say, no, we can't tell. And I'm like, I know you can't tell. I get it. But I would really like it to, we're going to have this return the string. And so here we're going to say this dot code is equal to, we're going to say return text writer dot to string. Okay. Then what we're going to do is that out. That, no, that, there. Okay. So we're going to say, it's basically going to be now that. Okay. And so that builds that, and then we get the code back, and then we can say in the, I at least want to get this far. Okay. What do we do in rocks? We say in the create generator, at some point we actually create context.adds source. The name we're just going to say is partially.cs, right? Because that's the name that we come up with. And then the text is actually, here we're going to say var builder is equal to new partially applied builder. We're just taking in the information, and then we get builder.code. There. Now it would all build, and that's probably going to be good enough for me. No, it's not. Oh yeah, because I changed that. It doesn't take the model, it takes the compilation. And then do we even need the model anymore? Nope. So it builds. Okay, now the tests run. The build is the biggest part for me right now. That was all I cared about. Yeah, they all passed. Okay, so that was good. All right, so tomorrow we are actually going to try to actually get this builder to build the things. And if we can actually get the builder to build the things, then we're going to go from there. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.